Hello everybody. Sitting out here today, it's windy. I hope it ain't fouling us up. But sitting out here today, I'm shooting my longbow a little bit in my turkey chair here. And yes, people have asked if you can shoot out of this thing. It really is no problem. You can shoot out of it, just can't have your bow straight up and down with a longbow. But I was gonna talk about bow length. I have some guys, they'll ask, how, I shoot this particular longbow right here, my Sunset Hill style longbow is 66 inches long. And I have another just about like it that's 64 inches long, a hill style bow. And so people asked, how do you shoot this long bow, off the ground or in a tree stand? What bow length do I need? And it's really dependent on draw length. If you, if I get solid anchor, I draw about 26 inches. And the 66-inch bow is really good. I shot the 64-inch bow a pretty good bit the other day, and it's quicker. But I guess because less weight in the limbs, and the limb is working more, I guess you would say, because it's shorter, so it bends more coming back to anchor. But the 66-inch bow, I seem to shoot more accurate. And it's got a lot to do also in your bow length, the style of bow, like a hill style bow and the reflex deflex bow. It's a big difference. A 66-inch bow would be too long for me then, probably around a 62 or 64, because of the way the limbs are made. Daisy, come here. And so, bow length is pretty critical. I mean, people shoot these like little 60-inch longbows, and unless the design throws the limbs way back towards you, you're gonna have a lot of finger pinch. And finger pinch is not accuracy friendly in my opinion. Because, I mean, if the angle of the string is a real tight angle around your fingers, you're not gonna get rid of the string as smooth as if the angle wasn't so tight. If that makes any sense. And for me, it doesn't make for an enjoyable shooting experience if you shoot a lot like I do, to have your fingers all, shooting a really short bow. I can't do it. On recurves, I like to shoot a 60-inch recurve. I've hunted a lot with 62-inch recurves back in the day, and fine bows. I mean, you can tell there's more forgiveness in there. You probably lose some speed, but I mean, there's a reason why your Olympic archers and all you guys that are winning the 3D shoots are shooting really long bows, like 68, 70-inch bows or longer. It's because they're more accurate. But for me, the perfect hill style bow for me at a 26-inch draw is 66 inches. Maybe a 27-inch draw at 66, but I think if you get to 28, you may lean towards a 68-inch bow. And because, I mean, just the smoothness of it, the way it feels. And people say, oh, I hunt with a 60-inch longbow, a 66 would be too long. No, you're looking at, I mean, you gotta, if you're shooting a 60-inch longbow, I'm shooting a 66, it's only 3 inches, that much on each end. So it's really no big deal. If you shoot a longbow canted like I do, now granted, you can see I can't shoot this bow straight up and down, if you can see that. There's no way. I have to can it. But I shoot the bow canted anyway. And I can shoot it leaning like that. And so, bow length for me, I prefer the less finger pinch. It's more stable. The length gives it stability. There's just so much more I enjoy out of the longer longbow than the shorter longbow. And if I got to give up a few feet per second, that don't matter a hill of beans to me. Because, I'm an instinctive shooter. And, I see my point, but I don't judge distance or anything. I bear down on my spot, and subconsciously, you'll see your point. But I try, especially the last several months, I've been trying to to make it a point not to look at my point, to make sure I don't see it. And I've actually shortened my arrows an inch. And I got a weaker spine arrow when I bought my last 2 dozen, just where I could shorten them some to stiffen them, to get the arrow out of my eyesight, and to help get that. I like to shoot 3 under. I mean, split finger. I don't like to shoot 3 under. I like to shoot split finger as well, and that gets the arrow down there out of my eyesight. You'd be surprised if you really bear down and focus at how well you can shoot a bow instinctive. And that forgiveness of that long bow, you can tell it. And the people who swear by their little short bows have probably never put any time into a longer one to see that there is a big difference. The 64-inch bow I shoot it. It's a fine bow, and it shoots good. But I can tell a difference shooting them both especially after I've shot the 66 for so long. And a lot of my favorite hunting bows were 64s. The most favorite bow I've ever owned that I built was a 64-inch bow called Mojo. I tore it up with a tree climber, but it shot good. It's just automatic. It shot where I was looking. Anytime an animal came in, I never worried about if I was going to make the shot. Just getting the shot is what I was after. And I've got to that same exact point with this bow here. Right now I'm struggling to get on some critters. But I feel like I'll do good if I get on him. My first shot of the day, everything's working good. My shot is flowing, everything's automatic. I have finally settled back into the shooting style I love, and there's no more changing. We're just going to get better, I hope. So there you have it. What length bow do you need? It depends on the style. If you're shooting a straight in bow like this, you need to go a little longer. If you're shooting a reflex deflex bow, you could go a little shorter. And I would say for the hill style bow, 27 inches and less, a 66-inch bow. If you get down there to like maybe a 25 or a 24-inch draw, then a 64. And if you're 27 and up, maybe 28-inch and up, you need to get a 68-inch hill style bow. And the reflex deflex, you can go along those same rules, but 2 inches shorter, I think, would have you pretty close to, like where I want a 66-inch for this at my 26 draw. If I were shooting a reflex deflex longbow, I'd probably want to shoot a 64. I could get away with a 62, but a 64 would be a smoother draw and more forgiving for me. And people say, what is forgiving? Forgiving is when you make a mistake on release and all that, and the bow minimizes that mistake for you by being forgiven, by having less finger pinch. And that's forgiven. And so, but if you were shooting a 58-inch bow and you made that same mistake, you might liable to miss the entire target. Whereas if you were shooting the 66-inch bow, you had a little flaw in your release, you might probably still be in the kill zone. That it's more forgiving. The longer bow is more forgiving, more stable. So there you go. I hope that helps. People had asked me, why do I like the 66? Can't you get away with a shorter bow, blah, blah, blah. 66-inch bow is fine. I'd rather have forgiveness and less finger pinch, meaning a more enjoyable shooting experience. I have a big knot on my finger here, shooting split finger. That's why I've been shooting with a glove. And I enjoy shooting with a glove, but I can't have my fingers wadded up in a tight with a lot of finger pinch. So there's no way I would shoot even a reflex deflex bow, a short one. But these hill style bows here, 64-inch, I enjoyed shooting it. It didn't hurt me or anything. I like it, but I can tell a difference in the accuracy of it. For me, I have to really bear down on my form to shoot really good, make good shots at longer ranges. So there you have it. We can't hunt right now. Can't go hunting until April the 5th on the public land around here. And I don't even know what the day is. It's maybe like the 20th maybe. So we got a couple of weeks before I can go hunting. And Miss Tammy reminds me of that every day with all these honeydews I got to do. I've been burning off a lot of my woods around here in sections where I can control it. It's too windy today. So in case we did have a fire that we didn't plan, it wouldn't burn my house up. I'm trying to burn everything away from my house, kind of control burn it. So I've been pretty busy. So thank you guys for watching my videos. Y'all keep the good Lord first. And I encourage you, I truly encourage you to get right with God. There's no happiness like that happiness. Amen. And here you come. Come on up here and see everybody. And Miss Daisy comes to say hello. That's my girl. Y'all keep the good Lord first. See you next time.